And we welcome you back to the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. This game between the Schaumburg Saxons and the LT Lyons. Dane, this is going to be a good one.
Yes, it is going to be a good one.
And this Schaumburg team has looked pretty strong up to this point in the tournament. And they will meet the Lyons of LT, a conference opponent of the host of this one, this tournament, the York Dukes. So Dane, what are you looking for from both these teams?
So from LT, we're going to be expecting a lot of three-point shooting and good ball movement as they look to create open shots. And for Schaumburg, we've seen it. We know what's going to happen. It's going to be focused around number 20, Chris Hodges, he's a big guy, projected to go to Wisconsin to play basketball. He does a great job of working in the paint and spreading open the floor, not only get himself points, but other people as well.
And Dane, that's your guy, Chris Hodges. Number 20 taking the jump for the Saxons, taking the jump for the Lions is number 44, John Wall. As we get set to get things started, Schaumburg and LT. That one. Won by Hodges, and here come the Saxons, led by Maurice Patterson. So Dane, this offense of the Saxons often opened up because of the size of Chris Hodges. That pass down low. Hodges goes up strong, finish.
And that's what we're going to be expecting to see all game long from Chris Hodges.
And the Lions will go to work. This is Nego. And looking at draw in there for Patterson. Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer relatively quiet yesterday. Dane, who were you impressed with from this LT squad?
I'm impressed with Grant Nego, and I believe, I don't have a sheet with me, but led by Grant Nego, right, that's right.
Grant Nego.
He's able to work inside and around the perimeter, shooting threes, work inside. And he does a phenomenal job all around.
Good little move, Nego. Unable to finish right hand, but that block there. Great little block there by Tarosian as Wall tried to go back up, and the other way come the Saxons. So we see it early. Hodges calling for the ball. As Hodges at the top of the key, guarded by Wall. Pretty good defense here early from the Lions, Dane.
And we're seeing Chris Hodges pop out there as
good little finish there by Shu.
And it looks like Schaumburg seems to have put together a good offensive game plan.
Michael Niedermeyer driving, draws the foul. Can't get the end one, but he'll be going to the line shooting two. We have foul be on number 15, Jared Shu. So Shu had a relatively quiet game yesterday, but a lot of great things that we saw from him yesterday. And this is Michael Niedermeyer at the line now, shooting two for the Lions. And he misses the front end. So this Schaumburg team, Dane, this is a team that could really do some damage in this tournament. Niedermeyer hits the second, and that registers LT's first points of the ballgame. 4-1 the score. Dane, we had a pretty fun end to our day yesterday. And the end of day two as St. Ignatius fell to the York Dukes in overtime. It's Tarosian, three ball off the mark, no good. Rebound by Nego. Dane, what did you think about the Dukes' performance last night? As Nego goes coast to coast, right hand finishes, good.
Offensively, it was a struggle because St. Ignatius' defense was not allowing much from York, and same with both sides on defense. St. Ignatius couldn't seem to get anything going either.
Inside is Shu. Shu right block, right hand finishes, no good, off the mark, rebounded by Wall.
And tonight I'm excited for a little more offensive game.
Heath draws the foul there.
I'm excited for a little bit more of an offensive game from York.
It'll be a good one. That one showcases Max Christie of Rolling Meadows and Nate Shockey of York. 2 players expected to go Division I as Heath knocks down the first. So Schaumburg jumped out to the early lead, but a pretty good answer from the Lions. A little over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Heath misses the second, rebound by Tarosian.
And another thing we saw yesterday a lot coming from LT was their ability to draw fouls and go to the free throw line. As they continue to again.
3 ball off the mark, no good. Rebound by Tarosian, throws it back into Hodges. Hodges, good drive. Nothing going. And a jump ball. Good defense there from Josh Heath. Real good hands.
Yeah, we're seeing Chris Hodges come out a little bit around the perimeter. As he's setting a couple pick and rolls early on.
We didn't see a whole lot of that yesterday from Hodges in terms of having the ball outside of the paint. There's a lot of drop inside, kicks out to Karnik and Tarosian. This Schaumburg team pretty solid from beyond the arc. As Heath looking for something. Kicks out to the corner to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer, right-hand floater is no good, but draws the foul.
And that's a tough, unfortunate foul. Didn't look like much, but it's their 3rd foul already, early in the first quarter.
And we talked about the importance of getting your opponent into foul trouble early as Niedermeyer misses the first. But we also put emphasis on hitting free throws, Dane. Something that if you're a team this tournament you need to do is A.J. Prowl will check into the game for the Saxons. Niedermeyer hits that one. LT has their first lead of the ball game. Also seeing the court for his first time today is number 30, Cameron Nix for the Saxons. Nix with the ball now. Back up top to Patterson. Inside to Hodges. Hodges gives back to Patterson. Patterson had quite the first game in this tournament. Had the red-hot hand from 3. Kind of cooled off in the second game.
Right, that's because we saw a lot of work being done inside from Chris Hodges.
We saw those lanes opened up for guys like Storino and Karnik. A lot of 3 points from the corner yesterday for the Saxon team. Inside, good hands there by John Wall.
Hodges' left arm looked to be low. It got caught there.
Heath misses that one badly. Up to Karnik. That won't be off Ingles. And we saw a lot of skip passes yesterday,
right,
from the Schaumburg team, and I think you and I are both a little surprised by, how much they were throwing that ball up.
Right, they're not focused on swinging the ball around. They just look to the open guy across the court and hope he gets open or stays open.
Karnik and the Saxons looking for something. Haven't had a couple points in a while. Karnik, 3-pointer on the way. Is off the mark, no good. Rebound by Josh Heath. Up to Vasek. Stefan Vasek had a pretty solid ball game yesterday for the Lions. To Nego. Nego looking dribble drive. That one off White and will stick, off the Saxons and will stick with the Lions. That one be off the hands of Arnav Karnik. To inbound again is Vasic. We'll see a whole lot of the dribble drive from the Lions yesterday. Seems to be the game plan early. Whole lot of Grant Nego from deep. Can't hit from distance. Rebound by Hodges.
And that's something LT has been consistently relying on all tournament long. As we've seen them, this is our 4th game covering them. We saw them once here earlier in the season against York. They rely on the three-pointer.
That foul there by Michael Shea. And checking into the ballgame now for the Saxons is going to be Jackson Bond. And for the Lions is Michael Niedermeyer. Coming out for the Saxons is A.J. Prowl. And coming out for the Lions is Ben Engels. Yeah, Dane, you and I have gotten to know this. Come to know this LT team pretty well. As poor pass will result in us going the other way. As Grant Nego and the Lions will get back to work.
No scores yet here from Schaumburg as they continue to have 4. As they still have 4 points here from their early scores.
That threw off the mark. Unable to finish that play. We go back the other way. Bond got her by Nego. Back out to Shu. Shu, three-pointer on the way. It is good. First points in a while for the Saxons, and with that, Jared Shu makes his way further into the scorebook. 5 points from Shu in the early going.
And we've seen his ability to knock down the three-pointer in earlier games in this tournament. Expect to hear his name called more.
You would expect the Lions wanting to hold for the last shot of the period, but a little cut there by Michael Niedermeyer. And we go 7-7, back and forth we go. 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Inside of Hodges. Hodges looking, he'll go straight up, and he'll finish.
Excellent job.
Great finish there by Hodges.
You know, in that first game we covered with the Schaumburg versus, it was a Downers Grove South.
Yep.
We saw a lot of Chris Hodges not being able to finish under the rim. And we haven't seen...
Nego goes up and in.
We haven't seen any misses so far.
He got that one off!
No!
And they're going to wave it off. But that tremendous shot there.
What a shot.
So 9-9 score at the end of the first quarter.
Too bad after the buzzer.
So, you know, Chris Hodges didn't have an exceptional game, exceptional first game, but he came back and responded with 20 points yesterday. Dane, your reaction so far to Chris Hodges today?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I said your reaction to Chris Hodges so far today.
I'm liking it. So far, 4 points, working inside. Great defensively, offensively. We've seen him poking out, coming around the perimeter, setting picks, allowing other players to get inside, and it draws the defense out, so it opens up the inside in the paint.
I agree, and that's what he does. He opens up lanes for the players, and we said that yesterday. There are numerous players in this tournament that makes everyone around them better, and we will see that on display tonight. You and I on call and on site for Rolling Meadows in York. The Christie brothers and Nate Shockey and the Dukes will get things going around 5 o'clock.
Max Christie yesterday had a phenomenal game, posting, what was it, 35 points, I believe?
35 points.
Phenomenal game. And they played Batavia. Batavia is not, they're not a weak team. They're a strong team. We saw them. They play well on the perimeter, shooting threes, inside the paint. They do it all.
And they had height throughout their starting 5, but their bench as well. It's a jump ball call there. Patterson dribbled into traffic. Well, now Heath for the inbound. Nego, little flare, got it. So if you're just joining us, we have just started the second quarter of play. This game between the Schaumburg Saxons and the LT Lyons. First game in this gym of the day that showcases the winner's bracket. Quite a good one. Brow looking for something. Gives inside a shoe, in between the legs of shoe, and get on the floor is John Wall, and we would go back the other way of LT up to Basic. Basic looking. And that one will be sticking with the Lions. Looked like, I mean, on that one, it looked like it might have hit off his leg.
That's what I was thinking, too. It did look like that. Tough call to make, though.
It is. It's, as you and I said, our angle is different from everyone else's angle as Niedermeyer and Nego. It's going to be a matchup that we're going to be interested to look at all day. Jared Shue and Grant Nego. Number 15 in maroon and number 5 in white. He's driving his Nego. He goes up. Can't finish that one. And the block will be called on Shue. So 4 fouls on the Saxons. As Nego hits the front end. (12-9) the score. Nego for the second free throw is good. Dane, there's one thing you and I are missing right now, and that is LSU Tigers and the Oklahoma Sooners. But as you just mentioned, LSU first one's on the board in Atlanta.
I really like that LSU team. Joe Burrow, LSU.
I mean, how can you not like a guy? How can you not like a guy like Burrow, though?
I know.
Really a great player, but an even better person. If you got a chance to watch his Heisman speech, his Carnegie from the corner, he'll hit. We saw a lot of that yesterday. And so these are the first couple games. We haven't done the York Duke pregame show. That show we covered a variety of college football, including the LSU Tigers, and how we thought the college football playoff was going to shape up as we look inside of angles. He'll give it a Wall. Now to Basic. Basic three-pointer with a hand in his face, no good.
And we expected, or I expected, the outcome of how the seeding was. LSU, number 1. I think they go all the way.
I think it's going to be a matchup of the Tigers in the national championship. I do think Clemson's going to take it to Ohio State today. Although I also walked in this gym earlier this morning wearing an orange Clemson Tiger polo.
Big Clemson guy sitting right next to me.
Might be a little bias on that front. But nonetheless, a couple great ball games left in college football. The Saxons looking for something. Getting it to Carnegie. Now he looks opposite side of Patterson. Up to Tarosian. Back to Carnegie. Good defense here from the Lions. Dang, John Wall, even being, a smaller player than Hodges, has done a pretty good job shutting him down. As we look inside now to Hodges. Hodges goes up. Good play there. And Hodges is on the board with 6.
Again, great job from Hodges moving around down low, understanding when the time was going to come for him to get the ball. And it works with patience.
Agreed. A little surprised Niedermeyer pulled the trigger on that 3 there. Niedermeyer takes that 3. Off the mark. Rebounded by Patterson.
Niedermeyer's been a little cold here from 3 early on.
He has been. That's not something that we saw yesterday.
LT working with aggressive defense outside the perimeter, but inside they left him open. And who else is there to get the ball but Chris Hodges?
And Hodges drawing the foul. That foul will be on Ben Engels. Hodges missed the front end. And that's only LT's second. 3 minutes, 58 seconds remaining in the first half. You know, it's been back and forth. Pretty relatively slow ball game in the early going. And making his second is Chris Hodges.
It's been a fairly defensive game so far.
A variety of matchups and battles. That foul, I believe, would be on Niedermeyer. AJ Prowl get after the ball, getting scrappy. And Dane, this Schaumburg team hasn't had to deal with much adversity in this tournament. We've won both games pretty handily, and we saw the exclamation point slam dunk yesterday from Chris Hodges. You were waiting for that one.
Yes, I was. We didn't see the first game against Downers Grove South, and I wouldn't say they won that game easily against Downers Grove South. It was a tough game throughout until the fourth quarter there, and it came down to the wire.
And Dan, you look around, it's getting a little bit more crowd a little bit earlier.
It is. We got York next, so we got the York team sitting behind us.
Hodges goes up, strong finish. Largest lead, or tying the largest lead of the ball game for the Saxons is Hodges. He's got 9 for the Saxons 17.
And like I was saying, we're starting to see a lot of York fans coming in here because the winner of...
And AJ Prowl is getting after it early. His second forced turnover. And that ball going the way of the Saxons.
The winner of this game will play the winner of tonight's game, Rolling Meadows versus York. So I'm sure a lot of York fans are excited to come in here and watch this one.
Tell you what, it'd be interesting to see an LT York matchup in this tournament.
And it would be because York already has LT 1-0 on the season.
That foul call on the floor on Nigo. Both teams will go to 4 fouls.
And AJ Prowl, we've seen him in the tournament earlier. And today, he's playing out very aggressive offensively and defensively. He's got a lot of energy, and he plays with a lot of force as a smaller guy. You kind of forget about his size.
Patterson unable to finish that one. Yeah, Prowl has kind of been that sixth man for the Saxons as Nigo can't finish that. Rebounded by Hodges and back the other way. But we haven't seen, a whole lot of weakness from this Saxon team. This Hodges, nice little kick to Carney. Carney from the corner. Off the rim, no good. A good rebound there by Hodges, unable to finish. He chases down that one, and a timeout called by the Saxons.
And I believe that's one of the first misses we've seen inside from Chris Hodges. We saw it a little bit early on against Downers Grove South, but now it happened. And for allowing him to get that rebound, it was great ball movement to get the good look shot from the exterior, or perimeter, I'm saying exterior, perimeter from number, it was 11.
That's Armin Tarosian. And AJ Prowl, we talked about the defense from AJ Prowl has really, provided a spark for this Saxon team here early. Minute 56 remaining in the first half.
Mikey.
Tarosian will take the ball out of bounds for the Saxons. Patterson inside Hodges. Hodges, one little play there, and just like that, Chris Hodges is in double digits. Largest lead of the ball game for the Saxons. Up the other way come the Lions. Trying to drive his heat, can't do it. And great defense there and good hands from Chris Hodges. Getting the hand on it is Nego. I got to Patterson. Patterson, floater on the way, no good. Put back by Hodges, and he got it.
Chris Hodges. He is so big.
13 points from Hodges, and just like that, he matches the total of LT. Chris Hodges, the quote-unquote hard commit to the University of Wisconsin and Greg Gard's program. And I, you know what? I do like what I see early from Hodges.
So do I. He's got a lot of wants, and wanting to score the basketball, and wanting to allow other players to score the basketball. It's a we game, right? This Schaumburg team seems like they want it more than LT right now.
Agreed. He's getting after it, and he's getting aggressive, and that's something that, you know, we hadn't seen a whole lot of in his first game. Saw a little bit more of it in the second, and we've seen a whole lot of it here in his third. So let's see how the Lions respond to the 8-point deficit. Just over a minute left in the half. Nego, good drive, and able to finish that one. Right-hand floater is good. 21-15 the score. Inside of Hodges. Hodges looking. That one short, no good. Rebound by Niedermeyer. Up and in. 21-17. I'd say out of the timeout, Dane, pretty good response.
Yeah, and we've seen all day, or all game so far, most of the points from LT are being scored in transition. And that's a lot, and that's caused from missed shots and steals.
Agree, and the Saxons struggling to get back on defense, and the Lions are certainly exposing that. Hear those overrated chants from the crowd behind us? Who do you think those are directed at?
I believe those are direct. Ooh. Well, I could see, as I look behind me, it appears that they're LT fans. So
I think we do have a few LT fans in the building.
My guess would be toward Chris Hodges. I mean, how could you call a man who's got 13 points in the first half, 13 of 21, just about half their points, or not? No,
a little bit more
than half their points. Yeah.
We're on break. It's okay. As Prowl hits that one,
wow.
22-17. 5 seconds on the dot left in the first half. Prowl looking to extend the Saxons' lead to 6. And hits that one. Nego into the front court with 2. Nego goes up. Good little finish, and that's how we will end the first half. A nice little coast-to-coast right-hand finish from Grant Nego. 23-19 the score, and we will head to the second half after the next 10 minutes. Gavin Hughes and Dane Emmerich on the call. This is the Jack Tosh tournament on YSN. We'll see you in 10. And here we go. The second half in this quarterfinal matchup between the Lions of LT and the Saxons of Schaumburg, as Michael Niedermeyer gets things started. Moving to our left is Nego drawing the foul there. That'll be on number 22, Joseph Storino.
And now being in the third quarter, we've seen and we've talked about how important it is to have a sense of urgency to take the lead to push it into the fourth quarter.
Especially in the first couple minutes of the second half. Dane, what are some of your takeaways? I'll tell you what, A.J. Prowl is really getting after the basketball.
He's scrappy and aggressive.
And that's just something that makes this game so intriguing and so exciting. It's players like A.J., but your takeaways from the first half?
Takeaways from the first half. come from how good Chris Hodges has been. Defensively, offensively, 13 points now, and able to stop and slow down this great Lyons Township offense.
Agreed, and they've done a good job of it thus far. See if it keeps up. As Heath out to Niedermeyer. Good block there by Hodges. My goodness, with authority. I'd like to see the Saxons getting Jared Shue involved a little bit more. In this game, been relatively low scoring, but we expect to see a lot of that as the day continues, as that one must have been off the hand of Heath. We expect to see a lot of that as the day goes on, a battle of strategy.
Right. And part of that strategy, you keep seeing Chris Hodges come out of the paint, up on the perimeter to set picks, allow him to get the open lane. Because the zone, as AJ Prowl goes up, the zone defense coming from Schaumburg has been, I apologize, LT has been consisted of double covering Chris Hodges, and we saw him how he was able to.
His wall hits that one.
We saw him as he was able to open up the floor, but not now, not today. With this strategy, is they're double covering him, and that's been the biggest defensive takeaway from LT.
Important note is that Chris Hodges has 13 points. He has been a powerful force as Nigo knocks down that jumper. We talk about the importance of Hodges, but it's going to take a lot more than just him to step up. But the Saxons want to win this ballgame as that is off the hands of Reese Patterson. And an early timeout called by Wade Iceland. So, you know what? It gets a little not nerve-wracking, but discomfort is what you experience if you're the Saxons right now.
Right. Right now, you see they're starting to get a little frustrated offensively, and they've been struggling the first couple minutes of this quarter to get something to work.
And off to our left, the Dukes headed to the locker room for a matchup against Rolling Meadows and the Christie brothers. That'll be a fun one. Can't wait to be on that one. You and I got a little doubleheader action tonight.
And I've been excited for that one all day long, Gavin.
And we were rooting for it to happen, and you'll get the pleasure of bringing you that one following the conclusion of this one. It's Prowl guarded by Nigo. Excuse me, other way around. But my oh my, have we had a couple real good games as of late.
Right now, Grant Nigo has a ball. 14 points tonight. Hasn't been talked about much.
He hasn't. You know what? I like Nigo because he's not the flashy kind of guard. He gets after it, gets in the paint. As that floater, no good. Rebound by Shue.
Right, and he shoots high percentage shots, non-contested. He's patient, and he waits for open shots to come.
Patterson, left-hand shot, no good. But get his rebound, but lose it. And into the hands of Nigo.
He also does a great job of driving.
Agreed, and we said he reminds us a little bit of Nick Kosic. Does the overrated chance continue? Good hands there by Patterson. He keeps it in bounds, and gathering is Tarosian. Looking forward to seeing the tremendous defense of AJ Prowl as we get deeper into the second half. As foul called there. I believe that won't be on John Wall. 23-23 the score of the ballgame. Just under 4.5 remaining in the third quarter. Is coming to the ballgame now is Evan Gardner and Stephen Basic, as well as Arnav Karnik. And we haven't seen a lot of 3 balls from the Saxons like we saw yesterday. Of course, the defense of LT has been trouble from the teams that they have faced so far in this tournament. Those including Schaumburg. Shu looking inside, can't get anything to Hodges. Now Powell will look inside. On the opposite side, Carney and this defense proving to be a problem. And this crowd knows it. It's Carney inside a prowl. And another foul on the floor. That one on Ben Engels.
Great job from Schaumburg. They're moving the ball around. And even though they couldn't get anything to go, they didn't force anything, which was, it's a great job doing that.
And we talked about it's all about patience. It's a little risky pass there from Shu, but gathering it is Patterson. He'll drive on Gardner and get that finish.
Patterson does a great job finishing all around this tournament.
Nigo, jumper from the free throw line is strong. Dane back and forth we go.
And again, we see a great high percentage shot from Nigo. He's able to get open, and I don't know if you noticed this. It appears
Hodges 3 off the mark.
He's got hops, Nigo.
He does, and we saw it there on that rebound right there as Nigo presses up the floor to Michael Shea, who we haven't called his name much, and that block, his second, is Chris Hodges.
That might be his third block.
Might be his third, you're right. And Evan Gardner guarding Hodges right now, not an everyday starter. See if Schaumburg realizes that. And I'll tell you what, Gardner's holding his own down there on the blocks. And we see those skip passes. Patterson, 3-ball. No good. Rebound by Hodges. Hodges goes up strong. Nothing going. Rebound to Shu. You know what? Rebounding is a problem for LT here in the early stages of the second half.
Right. And that's due to Chris Hodges having the size advantage over every single player on this court. I mean, much bigger, much stronger than everyone else.
Agreed, and that's what we've seen. This prowl, that 3, no good. And Nigo back the other way. Out to Vasek. Vasek, 3-ball on the way. Is short. Rebound by Nigo. Back to Vasek. Vasek losing that one, but this one will stick with the Lions. I'll tell you what, Dane, these is about as many LT fans that we have seen in this gym all year. And I mean, you know, 10 is a good start. Is that fair to say? I didn't count
9
each one. 9? Is it 9? Okay.
9 fans. It looks like they're a bunch of appears to be friends, probably, of Nigo and Niedermeyer.
So. You had a little bit of a student section last night.
Oh, I guess I did.
You call them hecklers. I think it was a fan section.
It was a mix between my friends and my little brother and his friends. So
Shea unable to finish that one. This one's sticking. The Lions, and Shu doesn't seem to believe it.
My little brother, who's on the freshman team, attracts a lot of his friends to come to these games.
Nigo up, no good. This one will yet again stick with the Lions. So, you know what? The Lions aren't really gathering their own rebounds, but, I mean, you know, the ball's going out of bounds on Schaumburg, and that's not the equivalent of a rebound, but, hey, whatever goes.
Right. Powell gets knocked down, but no foul.
There's a lot of bodies in the deck on that play. Looking for a screen from Gardner's Nigo. Nigo pulls from distance, no good. Rebound and chased down by Jared Shue. Carnegie, he had the hot hand yesterday. It continues. Arnav Carnegie for 3.
And I like that celebration there.
He's just acknowledging the fact that he hears the overrated chants. And Turning around, knocking down the three. Shea, good drive. Good finish. Just over 30 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Well, now we see the Saxons playing particularly small here as Chris Hodges comes out of the game for the first time. So we'd like to see them maybe try and take advantage of the small ball, or at least don't make mistakes.
Great, and we'll see how much of a factor the three-point shooting of Arnav Karnik becomes as Patterson gets the dribble drive to go. The lead goes back to 3 for the Saxons.
Great
Nico
job.
drives. He'll be fouled and going to the line.
If the Saxons does a great job spreading out the floor, allowing the paint to be wide open. So Patterson, or was that Patterson or Powell? Patterson, take these layup.
I believe that was Patterson.
Yeah, it was Patterson.
Knocks that one down.
17 of 28 points now from Nigo.
You know what kind of quieted down was Chris Hodges. Actually don't.
He's not in the game. That's why. Oh, yeah, no, he's in the game. You're right.
Let's see his
number's not
number up there on the board as Prowl throws that one up.
Yeah, he did check in there with 1 second left. His number didn't get posted, though. So.
And no good. So at the end of the third quarter, 30-29. Dane, fouls not too much of a factor here to start the second half. But at the end of the third quarter, what do you like? What do you not like?
I'm liking the ball movement and the defense from both sides. You know, both teams are playing very defensive basketball, aggressive on the perimeter, especially from the Saxons, who they know LT looks to knock down those threes. But a very great job from Grant Nigo here, right? He's able to notice that he's not able to take open looks around the three very often, so he does a great job of driving in and taking the open looks. And he's using his size and his hops to his advantage.
And so Dane, not himself, but guess who's going to be back? Who's going to have a representative back in the building for the Max Christie, Nate Shockey matchup? That'll be Sloshay.
He'll be back here?
He'll be back. Not him himself, but a friend that I grew up with works with Sloshay.
All
He'll
right.
be in the building, recording the ball game that we'll be bringing you next between Rolling Meadows, the Mustangs, and the host, the York Dukes, is Jared Shue, set to inbound here. So, you know, Dane, oftentimes with this tournament going into the fourth quarter, we could start to speculate, you know, who's gonna take the ball game.
Right.
Especially in the first day. But right now, both these teams look pretty even. It's Prowl. Good drive. Draw the foul. This one, two LT players down there, down low. This one will be called, and I believe Ben Ingles. Excuse me, it'll be a Stefan Vasek. His first, and that working in the Lions' favor is Ingles, no points and 3 fouls. Prowl knocks down that one. Prowl knocks down that one.
Raul now posting his 4th point of the game. And we've seen Patterson up top playing. That's a charge call.
Love the reaction there from Jared Shue, drawing the foul.
We've seen Patterson able to come up very quickly to the perimeter on defense. He's very fast, agile, and he allows an extra man on the defensive floor.
32-29. 3-point advantage for the Saxons. There we go. Chris Hodges is on the board. Good drive there by Prowl. And able to finish. Saxons lead of 5.
A.J. Prowl. 6-point now in the game.
Strong 6th man for this Saxon squad.
And Prowl's really starting to make a statement here in this game, showing he deserves to be playing.
When the blocking foul will be called on Varese Patterson. Dane, both of these teams attracting a pretty strong fan base out here.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people behind us, a lot of people on the stands on the other side. I believe we have the Schaumburg fans behind us, so it sounded like.
Ego. Nice right-hand floater, switching in midair. Quite an impressive play there as he cuts the deficit back down to 3.
And that's his, he's recorded now 20 points in this ball game.
Dane, you and I being close to the quote-unquote student sections, the trash talk is an interesting thing to listen to. No foul called there on Heath. A little surprising outside. Jared Shue, shoot for 3. He got it. Nails it. Jared Shue for 3. 37-31. 6-point advantage for the Saxons.
And he's been shooting fairly well today. Recorded his 8th bucket there on that 3-pointer. Or 8th point.
See, for something can find anything as we get back to basic. Good defense here from the Saxons. Little mismatch. Hodges on Nego. Nego driving on him. Gives back out to Heath. Basic. Oh, nice little behind the back. Can't finish the jumper. Rebound to Patterson. Back the other way. Come the Saxons.
Like you were saying, this energy right now from the student section, the 9-person student section from LT has it's seemingly been putting some energy and life into the Lyons team.
Agreed, and Shue now going to the line. Shooting 2. He's drawn a couple pretty important ones. He was the one that was responsible for drawing the charging foul earlier in the ball game. So he knocks down the front end.
And the Saxons now up 38-31, looking to pull away with this game, but it's not over yet, of course.
Now that lead. Nothing. Missing that second one is Jared Shue. Back the other way comes Lyons. And Dane, strong defense from both of these teams. Is we've seen it demonstrated from the Saxons. Basic. Can't finish that one. Rebound to Jared Shue. Getting after it is A.J. Proud. Jump ball.
And the Saxons now starting to do a great job of slowing this game down. But the Lyons Township hustle here on defense is starting to show. So just got that ball back.
As we get closer to cracking through halfway of the 4th quarter. Just a little over 4 to go as Heath back out to Nego. Called his name a lot. As Heath, 3-ball. Off the mark, no good. And that ball will stick with the Lions. You know, it's been other guys besides Hodges in this game. It's been a lot of other guys. Niedermeyer looking for something, gets it into Heath. And we go to 4 minutes remaining in the ballgame. Nego for 3.
Deep, no good.
Looking for the foul, couldn't get it.
Now Schaumburg, what they need to do here is just slow the game down a little bit. Don't rush any shots.
Shue out to Karnik. Carney gives out to Prowl. That one off the foot of Reese Patterson and back the other way.
And that's the one thing that could not happen from the Saxons. They're literally shooting themselves in the foot.
Agreed. Agreed. And I mean, you get a basket there. Worst case scenario, you go up by 9. You hit a 3 like we've seen them do, and you're up by 10. And time starts to become of the essence.
You catch my joke there?
I
shooting themselves in the foot.
Shooting themselves in the foot.
As the ball went out on his foot.
Good little feed inside. Wall draws the foul. That one will be on Hodges, and his first of the game.
I like my joke.
I liked your joke too, Dane. It was smart. It was clever.
Just rolled off the tongue.
Wall missed the first. We talked about the importance of making free throws as Wall hits the second. And a timeout called by Tom Sloan.
And that's a big free throw there to put them down by 6 rather than 7.
So we got a full timeout to discuss it. You coming into the ball game, you were looking forward to seeing Chris Hodges. What do you think about what he's done so far?
Well, he had a phenomenal first half we saw, but LT's done a great job of slowing him and the rest of the Schaumburg offense down. They're up 6 Texans, but ever since slowing down Hodges in the second half, it's allowed other players from Schaumburg to do the work. You see number 15 from the Saxons, Jared Shoup, recording 9, and that's a very important, valuable 9. Along with we both like AJ Powell and what he's done.
And the defensive prowl has really helped the Saxons. That was the first when we saw that score of, I believe it was 39, 30, 38, 31. That was the first time that we kind of saw the momentum play a factor in this ball game, and for a few moments of play there, the Saxons seemed unstoppable.
Right, it sure has. And now, if you're Schaumburg, what you want to do here is try and waste as much clock as possible.
Exactly. You gotta start killing time if you're the Saxons. Going to the full court press is LT. Back out in front is Patterson. And that's what they'll do.
Couldn't take advantage of the press, but they got away from it.
Only a 6-point game. And blocking foul will be called on Josh Heath.
It's not a bad foul.
It's not at all.
You're being aggressive, trying to get the ball. And at this point, if you come down to the wire, you're going to need Schaumburg to shoot free throws. So it works.
And we see a lot of games won and a lot of games lost due to free throws. And now Schaumburg hasn't really been faced with that situation too often. It's a poor pass there by DeRosian, and getting after it is Hodges and Wall. This ball will stay with the Saxons.
That was a great job from Chris Hodges, not giving up the play and not allowing Lyons to run away with the ball. And we're going to see Lyons here get the ball back, and the one thing they can't do, whether Schaumburg scores or not, is press the panic button. You can't just start chucking up wild threes and hoping they go in.
Agreed.
You gotta stay patient.
Just over 2.5 remaining in the ballgame. And the foul drawn by Vasek. On Vasek. And going to the line because we enter the bonus. It's Jared Shue. And Dane, your reaction to Schaumburg being in the bonus.
And now, part of me thinks that's a good foul. Part of me doesn't, because you're trying to be aggressive, get the ball back. But sending Schaumburg to the bonus, 1-1, shooting right now, it's a risk, but it could be rewarded. It stops the clock. It ensures that you're getting the ball back, but it could could allow 2 points here, and it did.
And now the 8-point advantage is what the free throws of Jared Shue gets the Saxons 2.
And you could see the sense of urgency coming from the Lions.
Foul on Arnav Karnik. It's Nigo, right hand dribble drive, going up, off the glass, no good. Rebound by Chris Hodges.
And right there, that's where you're valuable. If you could force LT to miss a shot, you know
Good
he's there
hands
for
by
the rebound.
Nigo.
Oh, and steal it. But Chris Hodges is always there for the rebound.
Nigo finishes that one. 2 minutes left. 6-point ball game. That was timeout called by Wade Heisler. That was great hands there by Nigo. And you know, I do think you could argue the violation there.
Yeah, it almost looked like
it was right in front of us.
Right, it looked like his foot stepped on the line there, or over the line there. But it is what it is.
Well, the defense of Nigo looked pretty strong on that play.
So right now, what you have is you need to play strong defense and hold up another possession against LT.
Go Boysen! Go Boysen! So you guys,
you like this song, Mikey?
You guys had some time to kill between these games. I got a Snapchat. Was Fortnite the choice of?
It wasn't Fortnite. Mikey was playing Star Wars.
He was telling me about that, the new Star Wars game.
He got the new Mikey got the new Star Wars game for Christmas, and he invited me over to go play it in between games.
The Star Wars game.
Star Wars. And I got to see his dog. I like dogs.
Minute 50 left in the ball game. 40-34. LT with the advantage. Or excuse me, Schaumburg with the advantage. And LT puts on the full court press. Dane, we've had a couple long days. We've got to have a little fun with it. Back outside, Karnik on a Tarosian. Karnik.
I wanted to play Madden, but Mikey's choice was Star Wars. So respect there, right, Mikey? I said I wanted to play Madden.
You didn't tell me you wanted to play Madden until 3 o'clock.
I gotta take a little nap though. Sorry. Gotta prepare for the back-to-back games.
Jared Shue hits the front end. The new Madden Superstar KO. We really raved about that the last few weeks.
Man, that's one heck of a game.
Jared Shue hits the second. 8-point advantage.
And that LT 9-person student section they're getting quiet over there, Gavin.
Niedermeyer, 3 off the mark, rebound by Shue.
And it appears Schaumburg starting to run away this one slowly. They don't have a single three? Not all game? Not a single three.
And Jared Shue trying to get the lead to double digits if he hits both.
And Niedermeyer's he's a good three-point.
Hits the first. And that's important. You got to hit these free throws down the stretch. Minute 15 left. 9-point lead in the ballgame.
So LT hasn't made a single three-pointer all game long. They only have 34 points. And that's the factor, the leading factor in this one. Because we know LT to be a very dominant three-point shooting team. And you see Chris Hodges coming out here on the defense, right? He has been a factor in not allowing a three-pointer. They're playing great perimeter defense. This is overall great coaching.
Agreed.
From Schaumburg.
Is Nigo looking to drive. Good hands there by Hodges. I believe that'll be his.
That's his fourth or even fifth block.
I mean, that is some impressive numbers tonight from Chris Hodges. 13 points. He's in the clear in terms of fouls, only one.
So I believe it's. I
thought there was one in the first half, no?
Nego, that shot is good.
That's the first three.
First three made from LT.
Or was that
Second.
a two?
Excuse me, that was only a two. It was only a jumper.
Was that only a two-pointer? That was only a two.
And so they are still without a three-point.
And Niedermeyer,
Three-pointer.
who's a great three-point shooter, has 24 points, and he's, we've seen him find ways to score other than the three-pointer, but it hasn't shown to be enough.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've talked this entire tournament about making sure those points vary across the entire board. And fortunately, if you have one player that's getting the job done for you coming into this tournament, that's not going to be enough to win it.
Right, we could talk about this game all day long. The perimeter defense from Schaumburg has been outstanding, and we can't emphasize that more.
And an 8-point lead for the Saxons. Quick inbound to Patterson. Patterson will be fouled by Heath.
And Schaumburg, too, a team that could have went down early in that first game against Downershof South, has proven that they're a team good enough to win the championship.
Right, and a tremendous response as Patterson knocks down the first. And so, I think a matchup between two Western Suburban Conference schools would have been interesting, but as we get closer and closer to the conclusion of this one, you start to think that Schaumburg will be victorious as they now extend their lead back to 10. Kick out to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer to Heath. Heath three ball on the way is good. Now 32 seconds.
Now with
39.
And now with 32 seconds left, that was the first three-pointer coming from Lyons Township all game.
So I mean, it really has been a lackluster game for LT. Well, not necessarily in the first half. I mean, it was a very, very interesting first half.
Yeah, it was close the whole time.
But in the second half, there hasn't been too much from LT that's really caught our attention. And that's what's important to note here is that 10 fouls on LT, and that put Schaumburg in the bonus relatively early. But important thing that we notice now this is catching our attention as we get closer to the conclusion of this game. Rolling Meadows, the Mustangs, led by Max Christie. And on the other side, the Dukes of York, led by Nate Shockey. This stadium just getting more and more packed.
That's right. You look back to our behind us to our left, you see Max Christie and the rest of the Rolling Meadows squad. And in front of us, York and the rest of the team.
Breaking away was Patterson. Quick foul there. I believe that one will be on Michael Niedermeyer. 2 shots coming up for Varice Patterson. Misses that one, but even with that miss, we've been pretty impressed with the free throw shooting ability of Schaumburg, especially down the stretch. As Patterson for his second gets it. So here we go, just under 30 seconds. Heath to Niedermeyer. Nego for 3. He gets it. 47-42. Okay.
Okay, that was a very impressive shot from Nego. That's his 27th point of the game.
So he almost has 30 of the 42 that LT has put up today. And we talked a lot about, over the course of the season, we talked about how much Nate Shockey means to this York squad, but since Grant Nego has played in this gym, over the course of this season, he's meant a lot to the Lions as well. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say.
But like you said, you know, you just the 3-point or just the shooting from beyond the arc from LT has not been there today. They didn't make a 3-pointer until the last, that would have been the last minute of this ball game.
Right.
And so, I mean, it definitely gets a little interesting. And Lions, I don't believe for the rest of the year will be in this gym. I believe York will travel to LT.
And I'm looking forward to that game.
I have too. It's always a matchup that's very interesting, very intriguing.
And I'm interested in seeing the crowd that LT brings out to that game for York at Lyons Township.
And they always do a pretty good job of getting their students and their fan base out. Is that foul from Stephen Vasic will send Jared Shue to the line, shooting 2. Trying to get the lead back to 7 for the Saxons. And he hits that one.
And he stands here, starting.
You can see it
to fill up now.
You know what's interesting is that, you know, we really did, you know, publicize the play of Chris Hodges, and he had a, you know, quieter second half, but played real well in the first half, and that's most likely going to be just enough to get the Saxons through this ball game. And
look, he's going to hold the ball there.
Will be. And that game, and that will conclude this ball game. 48-44, the final. In the first quarterfinal in the winners bracket between Schaumburg and LT. 48 Schaumburg and 44 LT. Dane, your thoughts?
Not only was that game won by skill and obviously Chris Hodges defensively, it was won by strategically being able to know how to take down this LT sharp shooting offense.
Agreed. So with that, Schaumburg will be moving on, and they'll face the winner of this next ball game between the York Dukes and the Rolling Meadows Mustangs. Dane and I will be on call for this one, and this gym will just get more and more packed as this day goes on. We'll be right back, 15 minutes away from tip-off between the Rolling Meadows Mustangs and the York Dukes. We'll see you then, folks. This has been the Jack Tosh Tournament on YSN.